Good, happy Friday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, drought could have long-term impact on Christmas trees. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
St. Mary's Bank has been putting New Hampshire families first. As the nation's first credit union, our values haven't changed, but the times have. From mortgages and auto loans to mobile banking solutions, we deliver all the services and technologies you need for the way you live today. We work for the individuals, families, and businesses that make up our membership, not some distant stockholders. We always have and we always will. Bank with the nation's first credit union, St. Mary's Bank.
At Miracle Acres Farm in Milford, it would take divine intervention to bring back the Christmas trees that tried and failed to put down roots in this drought-stricken summer.
Everything we planted this year died.
Farmer David Wheeler, who also serves on the executive council, says his farm's above-ground water supply dried out weeks ago. He's been able to use a well to save Christmas trees in their second and third years of growth. But he, like so many others in New Hampshire agriculture, is still waiting for rain.
Sometimes it's disappointing me. You see on the weather scattered showers coming. Well, they never seem to get here.
Miracle Acres started growing Christmas trees in 1996 and survived a severe drought in 2000.
This is probably twice as bad for us. I mean, we plant about 1,000 trees a year, and in 2000 we lost about 500 of those, maybe in some of the areas where the soil's a little shallower. But here we just lost everything. The whole 1,000 we planted is dead.
The rest of Milford is feeling the heat too. The town gets its water from gravel-packed wells charged by the Sauhegan River. For the first time in memory, the town has instituted water use restrictions.
This year we've seen the water levels decrease 1.5 feet, 2 feet, and it's staying there. So we're not seeing that bounce back like we typically do.
At Miracle Acres, they're hoping for that bounce back sooner rather than later. But the real toll of this drought will be felt in about a decade when these trees would have reached maturity.
The life of a farmer, you have some tough years, you know.
Wheeler says this year's crop of Christmas trees will be just fine and ready for harvest by the holidays. Naturally, though, they're going to be quite dry. He says it's important to keep them watered once they're in your living room. In Milford, Adam Sexton, WMUR.
Okay, and there you go on that report. New Hampton man charged with assaulting minors. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Dependability, and the latest technology. So what would be different if you switched to a local credit union to save on fees? Not much. You get a new card and more money to spend. To learn more, visit bettervaluesbetterbanking.com.
These are horrendous charges.
The alleged victims were between 11 and 13 at the time. 60-year-old Robert Eli is accused of assaulting them. Authorities say it all happened in his hometown of New Hampton. Belknap County Attorney Melissa Goldbranson tells us there are 3 charges in total, 2 counts of aggravated felonious sexual assault on a person under 16 and another charge of felonious sexual assault on a separate alleged victim, also under the age of 16.
Very troubling allegations and concerning to the community as well.
They're now calling for more people to come forward.
We do think other people in the community may have information, and if they do, we welcome them to come forward.
Eli was arrested at his Blake Hill Road home Wednesday. News 9 cameras also went to the home for comment, but there was no answer. Goldbranson would not reveal how Eli was connected to his alleged victims for their protection, but she says if he does post bail, he'll have to follow strict conditions.
He can have no contact whatsoever, including electronic or third-party contact with the 2 victims in this case. But he is, in addition, to have no unsupervised contact with any minor child. And he's further ordered not to participate in any group activities where minors may be present.
That includes his former job as a seasonal part-time employee at Ragged Mountain in Danbury. They tell News 9 he's no longer an employee there.
I don't think there is a present threat to the community at large, but we do think other people may have relevant information.
And this case is expected to move over to Superior Court. That should happen within the next couple of weeks. Live in Laconia tonight, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Sununu Van Oostern reportedly clash at Forum in Concord. Let's take a listen to this video from New Hampshire One News.
Follow Celine MacArthur on Twitter and Facebook.
The reality is that had real direct harm. It's not about process, it's about people.
I voted for this contract 4 out of 5 times. The fact that you're trying to score political points is unconscionable.
There you have it, Chris Sununu and Colin Van Oostern disagreeing at a gubernatorial forum held today by AARP of New Hampshire. As NH1 News political director Paul Steinhauser reports, that was not the only issue where they did not see eye to eye.
From clean energy.
He has voted against, more I think than any politician in the state of New Hampshire's history, voted against solar and renewable energy projects.
Will not be a rubber stamp for every project that comes across my desk. By all means, if you want the rubber stamp, Colin is absolutely your choice as governor.
To passenger rail.
Commuter rail will help New Hampshire businesses grow 5,600 new jobs and develop millions of square feet of commercial real estate.
To think that kids are going to get in Cambridge, get on a train and travel an hour north into Manchester every day instead of just going to work into Boston is completely unrealistic.
Republican gubernatorial nominee Chris Sununu and Democratic nominee Colin Van Oostern clashed. The fellow executive counselors also faced off over the state's Medicaid expansion.
I've said I think we need to make it permanent. He said he thinks we need to end it. He tends to use the word grandfathering because it's more polite than end it.
To try to score some political points and imply that I'm against expanded Medicaid is an absolute lie. It really is. I'm very supportive of the program that we have in place.
After the face-off, NH1 News talked to both candidates.
His attempts to politicize every little vote, every which way, to try to pull on the heartstrings and the emotions of people without really ever being able to get into the meat of the issues, the details, the real experience that we need in the corner office. I shrug that stuff off.
There have been a lot of big issues in front of us that our next governor will have to tackle. Chris and I have had different points of view over the years on those, and that'll be an important part of the election going forward.
These two candidates definitely didn't see eye to eye. And with a bunch more forums and debates to come, including our NH1 News Showdown on October 26th, there'll be plenty more opportunities for these two candidates to disagree. In Concord, I'm NH1 News Political Director Paul Steinhauser.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Gathering around Charlotte, mostly peaceful in third night of protests. As hundreds of demonstrators filled the street of Charlotte Thursday night to express their anger over Tuesday's police shooting of Keith Lamont Scott, the mayor of North Carolina's most populous city, signed an order for a curfew slated to go into effect at midnight. But police later said the curfew would not be enforced as long as protests are peaceful, and that was evident as demonstrators remained in the street well past midnight without any police intervention. Before 1 a.m., protesters were lying down in some streets and marching in others. And there you go on that report. Traders' Eye data, Fed speakers. U.S. stock index pointed to a lower open on Friday morning as traders eyed the release of September manufacturing activity and comments from Fed speakers. Friday will see the September flash manufacturing PMI released at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. South Korea reveals it has a plan to assassinate Kim Jong-un. Let's take a listen to this video from CNN.
North Korea could be the biggest global headache facing the next U.S. president. Here's why. It's a real and growing nuclear threat, not only to the region, but potentially the world. Their leader, Kim Jong-un, is relentless. Sanctions and warnings have done little to slow his nuclear ambition. In fact, he's accelerated his weapons program. Kim wants an arsenal of nuclear missiles capable of hitting the U.S., and he's developing missiles that can be fired from submarines and mobile launchers, making them really hard to track. So the next U.S. president faces two challenges. One, trying to convince North Korea's unpredictable young leader to give up his nukes, and the other challenge is to be prepared for any scenario, including an attack.
Okay, there you go on that report. Also, South Korea has elite troops on standby ready to assassinate Kim Jong-un if the country feels threatened by North Korea nuclear weapons, the country's defense minister revealed this week. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday. See you back here later on today. Goodbye, everyone.